It's championship week in college football. We're going to give you our 3 best bets for this Saturday, and it all starts right now. Hey guys, it's Matt from GrandstandBetters.com, and we have 3 more picks for you for this championship Saturday. We'll get to those picks just momentarily, but if you're new to Grandstand Betters, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our college football playoff picks that are dropping at the end of December. Also, smash that like button if you are ready for more chaos in college football this weekend. Without further ado, though, let's dive in to our top 3 picks for Championship Saturday. And with our first pick, we're going to look at the Big 12 championship game between the 9th-ranked Baylor Bears and the 5th-ranked Oklahoma State Cowboys. Kickoff for this game is 12 p.m. Eastern, with the spread at 5.5 in favor of the Cowboys, and the over-under is at 46. Now, Oklahoma State has made a real case in making the college football playoffs after a win last week against the Sooners. With a win over Baylor in this game and an Alabama loss to Georgia, they will most likely sneak into that 4th seed in college football playoffs. Or dare we say they win and Cincinnati wins and they still leapfrog Cincinnati. That would be some ultimate chaos and a lot of yelling from the Cincinnati fans. But it's much easier if they just win and Alabama loses. The Baylor team that they're playing, though, is no joke. They got quarterback Jerry Bohannon. This is a very strong team with a very good rushing attack behind senior running back Abram Smith. Baylor's putting up 446 yards per game, and they tend to do it on a very fast-paced offense, which defenses have really struggled with this year. Oklahoma State actually has done the best job figuring out them this year. In their Week 5 victory over the Bears, they held them to a season-low 14 points, only 280 total yards they gave up in that game. Now, Baylor was 3 for 15 on 3rd downs in that game, and that's because Oklahoma State did a very good job of forcing them into 3rd and long situations, something the Baylor Bears have not seen a lot of on their offense this season. Their running backs, they're averaging 5.5 yards per carry, and Bohannon can extend plays if he needs to with his own legs there if he scrambles out of the pocket. But another big reason Baylor struggled in that game is because of how good Oklahoma State's run defense has been this season. They're ranked 5th in college football, only giving up 90 rushing yards per game, and with that being Baylor's strength in the season, it's going to be interesting to see what they do this time around to try to get more of an offense going against a bit aggressive Cowboys run defense. Now, offensively, for Oklahoma State, they are also a run-first type of team, and quarterback Spencer Sanders can also make you pay with his ability to run the football. He doesn't throw the ball much. He's only attempted 294 passes all season long. They are averaging 31 points per game and 408 yards offensively. They put up 37 points against a very good Oklahoma defense last week, and that was even with 3 turnovers. Of their 5 touchdowns, the longest time of possession was 1 minute and 52 seconds, which just shows you how efficient this offense can be. And it's going to be a tough task, again, for Baylor's defense, which is giving up 348 yards per game. Now, both of these offenses move the ball down the field very quickly, which will give each offense more chances to put up points. As we mentioned, they're both averaging 30 points per game and 400 yards per game. They do have solid defense, with both of them combining only giving up 35 points per game. But the reason both of these teams are in the position that they are right now is because of their offense. Furthermore, this is a revenge game for Baylor, and they know that to beat this team, they're going to have to put up more points against a defense that is much better in Oklahoma State. So they're going to have to put up points. They're going to have to score a lot. They're most likely going to take chances on 4th down, take more shots down the field against that weaker part of the Cowboys defense, which is their secondary. So with all that being said, we're going to take for our first pick of Championship Saturday, Baylor, Oklahoma State, over 46. With our second pick, we are going to look at the SEC Championship game between number 1 ranked Georgia Bulldogs and the 3rd ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. Kickoff for this game is 4 p.m. Eastern with the spread at 6 in favor of the Bulldogs, and the over-under is at 49.5. This should definitely be the most exciting game of this weekend, as it is between two of the best teams in college football. Georgia has looked phenomenal all season, and their defense has just been unbelievable, holding opponents all season to less than 7 points per game. They're going to be taking on the best offense they will face this season, as Alabama is led by Heisman Trophy favorite Bryce Young. He's thrown the ball for almost 4,000 yards this season and 40 touchdowns while only throwing 4 interceptions. His 2 primary threats down the field have been Jamison Williams and John Mechie, both who have over 1,000 yards receiving and a combined 20 touchdowns. Their run game's also very good behind senior running back Brian Robinson Jr., but he's dealing with a leg injury and might actually not play in this one. Even if that is the case, though, you have to think Alabama's going to stick what they've been good at all season long, and that is throwing the ball. In addition, Georgia has one of the best run defenses in the country, so Bama was most likely going to limit the number of times they gave Robinson the ball anyways. Now, Georgia has a very balanced attack on offense. They're averaging over 200 yards rushing and passing per game this season, and a big reason for that has been their offensive line. Quarterback Sean Bennett has only been sacked 6 times all season, and if you're not able to get pressure on this guy, he's going to pick apart that defense very easily. Luckily for Alabama, they have a couple of the best pass rushers in college football. Linebacker Will Anderson Jr. has 14.5 sacks this season, and defensive lineman Mathis has 7. This group will most likely generate the most pressure that Georgia's offensive line has faced this season, and they will disrupt that run game just a bit and might throw off the quarterback a little in the making. Now, they are right behind Georgia in rush yards given up per game. Alabama only given up 80.7 per game, and they also have a very good secondary, which is going to give Georgia's offense its best test this year. When it comes down to it, though, both these teams just do not have too many weaknesses, and they have some of the best offensive weapons in the country. With how balanced both of these offenses are and how disciplined these defenses are, this is going to be a very evenly matched game, especially with it being at a neutral site. Alabama got very lucky last week with their win over Auburn, but the last time they ended up actually losing to Texas A&M, the next week they came out, they destroyed Mississippi State 49-9. With a spot in the college football playoffs on the line and the SEC Championship, it just does not make sense to bet against Nick Saban and this Alabama team in this spot. Georgia will most likely end up winning this game, though, because they are the better all-around team, but the game is going to be closer to a touchdown here. So with our second pick of Championship Saturday, we're actually going to take the Alabama Crimson Tide +6 over Georgia. With our final pick of Championship Saturday, we're going to look at the ACC Championship game very quickly here between the 15th ranked Pittsburgh Panthers and the 16th ranked Wake Forest Deacons. Kickoff for this game is on the late night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Spread is at 3 in favor of the Panthers, and the over-under very high at 71.5. Both these teams are 10-2 on the year and have made major improvements since last year, where they combined both for having only 10 wins. The biggest reason for this sudden improvement has been the quarterback for both these teams. Pittsburgh's Kenny Pickett has thrown the ball for 4,000 yards and 40 touchdowns this season, and Wake Forest Sam Hartman has thrown for 3,700 yards and 34 touchdowns. These offenses have been electric behind those guys, each average 42 points per game and a combined 1,000 yards basically of offense per game. It makes sense why the over-under for this game is so high, and in all honesty, it might hit. but we're going to stay away from that one. We're going to look at this game and look at it from the spread. Now, offensively, these teams line up very evenly. If you look at almost any stat offensively, these two teams are very close together. So we don't really see an edge one way or another on that side of the ball. Although Pittsburgh's strength has been throwing the ball this season, they do know how to run the ball as well, exposing maybe a weakness of Wake Forest defense. That might open up the passing game greatly for the Pittsburgh Panthers in this one. Wake Forest does have a very good offense like Pittsburgh, so they should be able to put up points in this game, but the disparity between the defenses is just too much for the Deacons to probably overcome this one in the game. So we said we were going to go quick here. That is quick, and I think the game might be over quick here. With our final pick of Championship Saturday, we are going to take the Pitt Panthers -3 over Wake Forest. That's it for us here at Grandstand Betters, but just a reminder, this is the last week of our college football leaderboard. Make sure you get your picks in. Also, we've joined Patreon. If you're looking for a sports pick each and every day, check out the link in the description below. Become a Patreon member. And if you haven't already decided to go over and become of the Grandstand Better family, head on over to grandstandbetters.com. Become part of our family and start living that grandstand life. But, as always, sit back, relax, enjoy Championship Saturday, and we'll see you in the playoffs.